Yo, yo, yo. What it do, peoples? What's going on? Happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. We got video gaming news, obviously, as we always do, for this morning, January 12th. We'll hop in and see what we can find that's going on in the world of video games, and then we'll move on and we'll play, I think it's day 29 of Fallout New Vegas, man. Yesterday was the first day we had jumped back in over like 3 months, just around 3 months at least. So it felt good. It's still a banger of a game, and you know, it's showing its age a little bit, but it's still, you know, there's a reason why Fallout New Vegas is so renowned in the Fallout series, and it's good, man. We'll get in there and we'll try to finish up the DLC we're in right now, and then we'll move on and try to finish the main game up so we can look forward to these games we got planned for 2024. Cool. Hope you guys are doing well. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. Let's go ahead and do what we do. Let's get over here and start looking at what we got for video gaming news. Let's go. Sandland. Yeah. When is that supposed to drop? I don't know that we need to look at. April 25th. It's on my wish list already. If you want to take a look, take a look. We might pull that up and see if they've got a trailer in it. Looks like it could be fun, you know. We'll have to see. But Sandland, they got the trailer up in here, it looks like. Yeah, so we'll take a look at the trailer. That way, if anybody hasn't seen what Sandland is, you can get a peek and see if it's something you might be interested in. Okay. Konami retro releases coming to Switch, PS4, and PS5. Generative video game AI took center stage at CES, and it was a total mess. Interesting. Everything we know so far about Avowed. Everything I know so far about Avowed has me fairly turned off about that game. But we'll see what they have to say. See if there's anything new. We're going to get more news on the 18th. Well, about 6 days from now, actually. Xbox's Direct Showcase. Or what's it called? Yeah, Developer Direct happens on the 18th. So next Thursday, we'll be watching that to end our stream next Thursday. And they've already announced they're going to be talking about Avowed. So we'll see more then. But that's probably why the news about Avowed is ramping up a little bit. Atlas apparently is developing games for Netflix. Interesting. Over 30% of blockchain games are now abandoned. Data shows. So basically, take the money and run. Right? I can't recommend enough that people stay away from the Web3, blockchain, play to earn, NFT, crypto economy based games. This is what's happening to most of them. They're basically all just a scam, dude. Just do yourselves a favor. Really? An AI company may have just leaked the Nintendo Switch 2's name and release month? I almost feel like this is clickbait, but we'll dive in here and see what we've got anyways. Smite 2 could be revealed this week. Interesting.
Oh, yo. You shake weight jam. Booty, baby.
Booty, baby. What up,
They're pretty funny, Gabs.
What's up, buddy? Good morning, dude. How you feeling, man? Yeah, 3 more Sega Classics set to make their return. Well, we know about this, actually. The Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi. What's the ninja one? I can't think of the name of it right now. It's not Shinobi, is it? Is it Shinobi? Happy Frozen Friday. Yeah, no doubt, dude. Yeah, we're getting hit too. Yeah, this is a big storm coming across, you know, top of North America, I think. We got hit like about 3 or 4 days ago, and then it loosened up, and we just got smashed again last night. Yeah, we've got blizzard warnings right now, well below freezing temperatures and stuff, so we'll see how it progresses, but the weekend's supposed to be pretty gnarly for us here. Yeah, but we've already kind of talked about this, so I won't bring this up. I like this song. Bam, 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 bam. Laser beams. Sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads. Yeah, I'm going to pull this up again just in case we need another article to confirm. But we'll probably only need to read one of those. Skim the other one. Oh, yeah. Look, this is what I was calling the whole time, too, if this is correct. I was kind of telling everybody that I was expecting the new Nintendo hardware to come at the end of summer into the fall time or autumn time of this year. And if this is correct, that's September, right? So that's right on par for what I was expecting. That's not definitive. This is not official, but this is some leaked information now that is kind of hinting towards my assumption there being correct. So we'll dive into that in just a little bit. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown review. I kind of want to see what people are like review sites are saying about this game right now. Did it release? It didn't release yet, did it? I don't think so. January 18th. Okay. Yeah. Critic reviews are already saying an 86, though. Look at that noise. Superb Metroidvania. That might be what we play next. This is on our schedule as a potential play. I was kind of waiting for reviews to come out before we made it definite. This game is supposed to be like about a 30-hour playthrough. And it's supposed to be a solid Metroidvania. It looks good. It looks fun. I love Metroidvanias. I'm not an Ubisoft fan. I've really fallen away from a lot of their stuff over the past few years, and probably really about past half decade. They've shown very little for me to get excited about as far as a developer, development company is concerned, developer/publisher. And but this game looks really good. I've been interested in it. It's a genre that is, easy to pique my interest, to be fair, but it did look good. So this is a good look right now, and we'll talk about this. Disgusting. We already talked about the NVIDIA news coming out of CES, so I'm not going to dive into that. Golden Sun and the Lost Age coming to Switch Online and the expansion pack. Okay. Looks like there's a Prince of Persia Lost Crown demo out there too. That's cool. What is this? Oh, I think we've seen this. Let's look at that though. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. A RoboCop publisher, Nacon, says there's too many games on the market. And I'll agree with that. And the fact that I'll expand and say there are too many games that are just not proper games on the market. I don't think there's anything wrong with, there being a plethora of options for people to play. Not, because everybody's got a different preference as far as, genre and content and stuff like that. So there's nothing wrong with us having a lot of different options as far as, software is concerned for video games. But there's too much of terrible games. Bad developers releasing bad games. There's a horrible trend of developers and publishers hyping up games that don't fulfill expectations that are set by them for the content that games are supposed to have or the performance that games are supposed to have. Games should always perform fairly well on release. They should be pretty complete. And on that front, there are way too many games on the market that don't fulfill the promises that are made as far as content is concerned and don't get released as a finished product. And that is what is unacceptable. Oh no, dude. Discord is now joining Unity and Twitch in growing. 2024 is already depressing layoff statistics and continuing the trend from 2023. Dang, dude. Fast-paced like Doom and dinosaur-themed FPS Sun and Bones estimated price revealed. Sun and Bone, have I seen that? Oh, gross, dude. Raid Shadow Legends is on Steam now. Jesus Christ. Yeah. But for anybody that's a fan of that game, I guess it's good that you can play it just through Steam now, too, you know? Valve's new guidelines mandates AI transparency for Steam games. Wasn't this already a thing? We'll pull this up. I thought that was already a thing, though. Let's look at our other search. Kind of hit on this yesterday a little bit. Gaming voice actors blindsided by garbage union AI deal. Yeah, it did look like there was some people pissed off about this. Like they didn't have a voice in this. So let's take a look. All three of these top articles here are about the same thing. Yeah, we talked about the Twitch layoffs yesterday. That's also concerning, especially since that's the platform we're on. These are additional layoffs that it seems like Twitch just keeps firing people. I don't know. You know, I've been a fan of this platform for quite some time, you know. But it seems like the longer Amazon's been a hold of it, the more daunting a look for the future is for this platform, unfortunately. All I can say is that it's another look at another tech studio laying off a mass amount of people. It feels bad. We talked about it yesterday in depth. The concern, particularly, you know, for me in this community is what, you know. Obviously, there's concern for the people losing their jobs too. I'm not trying to just glance over that. That feels bad. I'm sorry for everybody that's dealing with that situation, and my heart and thoughts go out to those people, specifically for our community in regards to what this means and how we continue to address what's happening to Twitch as a corporation and a platform that we use to harbor our community and you know, stream content and hang out together every day and stuff. I have a backup plan. If we need to pivot and go somewhere else, we can do that. I don't necessarily want to, but it might be inevitable that we have to. It just depends on how all this works out. But you know, all the things that happen in 2022, Twitch is not the only company. They're just another that has laid off a ton of employees in the tech industry, gaming industry. And it feels bad. It doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. We've got that up. talked about this yesterday too. Sony's developed a headset for video game creation. It's been shown off at CES 2024. We talked about it yesterday. And much to the same extent of what we're seeing Apple do. Looks like Samsung and Google are also doing the same exact thing. The premise of what it'll allow creators to do in a virtual 3D environment is promising. We'll have to see what exactly all of these different hardware developers are going to be bringing to the table for their specific devices on that front as they release, Suicide Squad is not getting great reviews right now, by the way. Pull that up real quick, too. They don't even have critic reviews up yet. Okay. We've seen some sites that have gotten their hands on the game and have talked about how it's just kind of mediocre at best, really, which is about what I expected also. I've tried to tell people to be pretty hesitant on the front of that game. It's a AAA price tag game that's also a game as a service that's riddled with monetization. It seems like they had a huge aim and view at just trying to suck money out of people rather than what they should have been, concentrating on, which is quality first and foremost, right? And I think it's going to show in what that game brings to the table. I don't think it's necessarily going to be bad, but I don't think it's going to be fantastic or necessarily. It seems like something that's going to be pretty repetitive. Not something that you're gonna, end up wanting to spend a extraordinary amount of time in. I don't know. Personally, that's what I've kind of seen from it the whole time it's been in development. Gaming Bible is so clickbait, man. Let's stick with this. We got plenty of articles up right here. We'll stick with this and see what we can dive into with these articles, and then we'll go play some Fallout New Vegas, all right? Oh, man. So, I guess segueing from what we were just talking about a moment ago with the Twitch layoffs of roughly 500 employees we discussed in depth yesterday during our news segment, we are now looking at Discord also laying off employees, cutting 17% of its staff, apparently, unfortunately. Oh, man. Again, I think that the hope for most people, and I know myself, was that we were going to leave all this layoff nonsense behind with the end of 2023, and I guess that was just wishful thinking, because as 2024 has hit, yo, what up, Florida? How you doing, friendo? Happy Friday. As 2024 has hit, we've just been getting throttled with more layoffs in gaming and the tech industry. Discord, 17% of its staff now. Twitch firing 500 more of their employees, 30% of their staff as of yesterday. Unity laying off 25% more of their staff, which was well over, what was it, like 1,500 jobs or something like that around the first of the year, as well as other, I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but we've had a couple of other developers that have laid off as well. It's been, it'll make your head just kind of whirl, man. It's hard to keep up with. Make you a bit dizzy trying to track it all down and keep keep a list of all of it. It was last year was brutal. This year is seeming much to the same extent of what we were dealing with last year. It feels bad. But here we go. Latest of the layoffs to hit the industry of tech and gaming would be Discord. And we're not even 2 weeks into 2024, and the tech and gaming layoffs are already reaching catastrophic numbers. Now Discord is adding to the count by cutting 17% of their staff. The news was announced to Discord employees in an internal memo from CEO Jason Citron, which was obtained and published by The Verge. In that memo, Citron noted that Discord's workforce had grown by 5% since 2020, making the company less efficient. Citron said, "We are increasingly clear on the need to sharpen our focus and improve the way we work together to bring more agility to our organization. This is what largely drove the decision to reduce the size of our workforce." 170 people will be laid off. Departing employees will receive 5 months of salary plus an additional week for every year they worked at the company, as well as 5 months of continued benefits. Discord joined some of the other gaming giants in big layoffs to start the year. A few days ago, game engine provider Unity, like I said, told employees that they were cutting 25% of their staff, representing 1,800 workers. I was a little bit low on that. I knew it was 25% of staff, but I thought it was around 1,500. It was 1,800 workers. Even more recently, streaming platform Twitch, which is where we are all at right now, right, confirmed they are laying off 500 people, which is 30% or roughly a third of their workforce. Outside of gaming, it was revealed earlier today that Google is cutting hundreds of jobs as well. In terms of the quality of major new releases, 2023 was one of the greatest years in gaming history, but the human toll of all that will sober your enthusiasm real fast. Various estimates suggest that somewhere between, no, it was actually above this, between 6,000 and 7,000 game industry workers were laid off last year. No, it was like actually closer to 9,000 from everything that we found. Closer to 9,000. The tech industry as a whole was well above 20K layoffs. And just 11 days into 2024 is catching up very, very fast. That's absolutely right. It feels terrible. It feels terrible. I don't know what to say other than the same thing I've been saying the whole time. You want to talk about this Discords and feeling like they need to lay off employees, right? Discord has continued to get bigger. I love Discord's platform, but they have continued to get bigger. They've been integrated into major platforms over the past year, which they weren't a part of before. We're talking about major platforms of Xbox and PlayStation. That's huge. That's huge. But now they need to fire employees. It's like... obviously I don't know all the ins and outs of what's going on in their business or anything, but you can't tell me that they haven't been having some big things happen for them too. Yeah. And again, all of these layoffs can't be chalked up to something like a simple kind of progress review situation for that naturally happens with most employees and their between their employer in the workplace. A progress review to see how they're doing, and if they're not meeting those expectations set forth for their what they're supposed to be doing performance wise, then they let go. That's not what this is. We're seeing mass layoffs across all these companies, and it's concerning. How could it not be? And the same thing, it's just a same kind of default quote we get all the time. We are increasingly clear on the need to sharpen our focus and improve the way we work together to bring more agility to our organization. This is what drove the decision to reduce the size of our workforce. We didn't even see anything right here. Not that they didn't say anything, but maybe we just didn't catch the other part of the quote. But usually whenever you see the quotes they push out, they at least say some generic crap about, we love our employees and we really wish we didn't have to do this. You don't even get that here, you know. There's no transparency about what's going on, really. It's these default explanations that don't really provide any kind of clarity as to what's led to these decisions substantially, you know. And it feels bad. So, again, heart and thoughts go out to those people dealing with job loss right now. There's a ton of people across the world. We know specifically here in the tech industry and the gaming industry, it's getting really, really brutal. And it results in a lot of, you know, mental health degradation. It's terrible for mental health. And I hope that everybody dealing with job loss, no matter where it is, what it is, where you are, what industry it's in, that you find something better soon that, you know, is more fulfilling, and the grass that ends up being greener than it was, you know. I don't know. It's so terrible to read every day, dude. Every day. It's so brutal, man. All right, let's look at a game then. Change of pace here. Fast-paced like Doom and dinosaur-themed FPS Sun and Bones. Estimated price revealed. Sun and Bone. I don't know if we've seen this. Team Kill Media LLC will be launching their PlayStation 5 exclusive sometime this year. A relatively new game developer, founded only 8 years ago, will be releasing their third game. It will introduce players to a Jurassic Park-style environment, only this time the dinosaurs are real. The upcoming title is called Sun and Bone. Developers dropped the announcement teaser for the FPS, and to the delight of the players, they confirmed the game won't cost nearly as much as most games do these days. Sun and Bone involves a unique combination of cowboys and dinosaurs, blending the Old West setting with a twisted prehistoric past. The devs at Team Kill Media uploaded a trailer for the game on January 11th on Twitter. Many gamers were hyped to see the new title, and when one user asked the devs if the game would be another $60 indie title, to this comment, the devs replied, "We are aiming for half that price, roughly $30 to $40. Nice. This is good news for players looking to join the action without paying for a full-size AAA title. While the trailer didn't provide many details, it confirmed a 2024 release for the PlayStation 5. No mention of Xbox or PC version yet. Post came with a brief game description which read, a fast-paced FPS where you play as Sam Judge up against dinosaurs in your fight to escape a world overrun with prehistoric monsters. Trailer got many people pumped. Where's the trailer? Give me the trailer. Let me see the trailer. Let's watch the trailer. Do they not have it in here, dude? Let's see this. Pause. Go. PlayStation. I'm hunting cattle. That's a sick mustache, though. That's a rancher stash if I've ever seen one. I think you're gonna need a bigger gun, dog. Got a bit of a Doom feel, yeah. Yeah. Like New Age Turok, dude. Oh Jesus! Bro just ripped off a Triceratops horn. What? Good God, that looked pretty dope, dude. Sun and Bone. Interesting. $2024. Yo, that looks sick, man. Cool. Well, we'll keep our eyes and ears open for the definitive release date here, but that looks pretty cool, man. Sun and Bone. Nice. Gaming voice actors blindsided by garbage union AI deal. Yeah. So we saw a bit of this yesterday, and it was hard to, determine exactly if we just had some, we just had a few outspoken voice actors that felt like they weren't included in this, or if this was going to be a widespread issue of maybe SAG-AFTRA doing what they felt necessary without including the majority voice here of the people they're supposed to be representing. And I think this will give us a better idea of what's going on here. So let's read this. Gaming voice actors blindsided by garbage union AI deal. Prominent voice actors say they weren't told about a landmark deal setting out how voices generated by artificial intelligence can be used in games. It has been struck by U.S. Actors Union SAG-AFTRA and AI firm Replica Studios. The union says it guarantees, quote, fully informed consent and fair compensation for its members. But many voice artists who have long been concerned AI will replace them have reacted with fury, with one calling the deal garbage. In an email to members seen by the BBC, SAG-AFTRA said the deal was negotiated by a committee which included actors with significant and diverse experience performing in games. The contract was specifically tailored to the needs of voice actors, ensuring informed consent and proper compensation terms that are unique to the set of performers, it said. It comes after SAG-AFTRA led a months-long strike in 2023 to fight for protections from film and television studios using AI. Many voice actors have suggested this new deal is at odds with the purpose of that industrial action, with Fallout and Mortal Kombat voice actor Sunil Malhotra saying he sacrificed to strike half of last year to keep my profession alive, not shop around my AI replica. In a blog covering the announcement, SAG-AFTRA said the deal was approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community. Recent developments in AI technology have underscored the importance of protecting the rights of voice talent, particularly as game studios explore more efficient ways to create their games, said the union's chief negotiator, Duncan Crabtree Ireland. With this agreement, quote, with this agreement, we have achieved fully informed consent and fair compensation when it comes to the use of our members' voices and performances. Interesting. Yeah, let's get our music popping again. My bad. But Steve Bloom, a voice actor once credited by Guinness for being the most prolific in video games, said nobody he knew of had approved the deal. According to SAG-AFTRA, the agreement lays out terms and conditions for AI-generated voices in video games, which can be licensed by Replica Studios both in gaming and other forms of media. It requires the AI firm to get consent from actors before it uses voices based on their likeness, and also gives voice actors the ability to deny their voice being used in perpetuity without their consent. So, let's read this again. According to SAG-AFTRA, the agreement lays out terms and conditions for AI-generated voices in video games, which can be licensed by Replica Studios both in gaming and other forms of media. It requires the AI firm to get consent from actors before it uses voices based on their likeness, and also gives voice actors the ability to deny their voice being used in perpetuity, meaning moving forward in any other form without their consent. But it has been met with consternation from the performers themselves, with World of Warcraft voice actor Andrew Russell calling it garbage, while Shelby Young, who will provide the voice of Yuko in the upcoming Persona 3 Reload, said she was really disappointed in the union. Voice actors outside of gaming have also criticized the agreement, with Joshua Seth, known for voicing Tai in animated series Digimon, calling it a big mistake, while audiobook narrator Paige Reisenfeld said she was ashamed that her union payments went towards it. And Veronica Taylor, who provided the voice for Ash in Pokemon, said how the deal was made without being put to a vote. Yeah. But SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher said the deal was a great example of AI being done right. Meanwhile, Replica Studios CEO Shreya Nevis said the deal was an ethical approach to AI. We're excited by the new opportunities this opens up for world-leading AAA studios can now access the benefits of Replica's AI voice technology while knowing that talent is recognized and compensated fairly for the use of their likeness, he said. Yikers, dude. It'd be interesting to find out how some of these voice actors that are opposed to this specific deal and the guidelines which are laid out within this deal, what would need to be changed to make them feel more comfortable. That's what I'm interested in. You know, there's obviously a lot of contention here and disagreement, and I agree. If you know you're going to be putting something like this into action and you know, coming to some kind of agreement like this, it seems like you should have some kind of public vote for everybody that is represented within this organization, right? That would be the best way to go about this. I don't know how easily that would be done either. So maybe it was a time constraint. I don't know all the ins and outs of this, but you would like to see the majority of the people being represented here have the say in a yay or nay as far as these types of contracts. It would be interesting to see what would appease these people that are disagreeing and upset by this contract. What would have made them feel okay about this? You know, I think that's what I would like to know. It almost feels like SAG-AFTRA is as a whole, you know, the people that are leading this, feeling like this was a good scenario for being able to address these AI situations as far as, you know, entertainment. And but obviously there are people being represented by SAG-AFTRA that are not a fan of this contract. So what would make them feel better about this? What would have needed to been changed to make this be okay? You know, AI is unavoidable. It's unavoidable. I truly feel that. But I've been outspoken this entire time about the fact that it does need to be done in an ethically and moral, you know, way. It does not need to be just, you know, utilized at these developers' will to get around not paying people for unique assets. And I don't care if you're talking about voice acting, art, you know, writing. I don't care what it is. It needs to be done in a way where unique assets are built for every single project, you know, and then AI can work off of that stuff or whatever. But, you know, there's a lot that goes into this. It's tough to address, really. But I am interested in what these people that have an issue with this would have been okay with. It's interesting. Golden Sun and the Lost Age coming to Nintendo Switch Online and the expansion pack. The beloved Game Boy Advance JRPGs will be playable on the Switch very soon. Nintendo is continuing to add Game Boy Advance games to the Nintendo Online Plus expansion pack library with the addition of two beloved Game Boy Advance JRPGs, Golden Sun and its sequel, Golden Sun: The Lost Age. The classic JRPGs were released in 2001 and 2002 respectively, following a group of magic welding adepts who are tasked with preventing the release of a destructive magic known as alchemy into the world. The games were both critically well received on release, with GameSpot's original review of Golden Sun praising its tight graphics, polished gameplay, and a solid story, awarding the game a 8.6 out of 10. That's very good. Sequel to The Lost Age was also given an 8.6 by GameSpot, with a reviewer calling it an even more polished game that exceeds its predecessor's high level of quality. Whether you played the original games in the 2000s or want to check them out for the first time, Golden Sun and The Lost Age will be playable on the Switch from January 17th through the premium Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscription, which costs $50 annually or $80 for a family plan that can be used by up to 8 accounts. The premium membership tier adds titles from the Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, and most recently the Game Boy Advance to the library of retro Super Nintendo, NES, and Game Boy games playable through the base package. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and if you need anything out of that, I'll link it to you. Here you go. And then we'll segue into this Nintendo Switch info here. So an AI company may have just leaked the Nintendo Switch 2's name and release month. So Nintendo's new hardware, it's not officially named the Switch 2, but it could be. We'll just need to see what Nintendo's going to call it. And the release month. Let's see what this is. As part of the ongoing wave of AI-related news coming out of CES 2024, which just kind of finished up, Altec Lansing revealed an artificial intelligence-powered successor to the Game Shark called AI Shark. More interestingly, the press release regarding the software claims that the new Nintendo hardware will launch in September of this year. So that's right on par with what I had been predicting for this this hardware. There was, the Switch released in like a March time frame. The current gen Nintendo hardware released in, I think, March. If not March, it was April, but I think it was a March time frame of 2017, I think. And everything that we had been kind of gathering information wise and stuff like that, I had been kind of predicting, and that the new Nintendo hardware coming, we all knew it was at this point coming in 2024, and for roughly, the past 6 months, I had kind of been predicting to people that it would be hitting somewhere, probably late summer into the fall time, and that seems on par here. This is not a surprise to me. This seems right around where I was expecting it. August, September timeframe really was what I was thinking where this would hit, and it doesn't mean this is not official. This is not official that this is, there's always the potential for this to change, but this is what I was expecting, and I, even if it doesn't end up hitting in September, I still think it'll be somewhere around there. Formerly known as Game Shark, AI Shark is set to redefine the gaming landscape with its revolutionary AI-enhanced technology. Altec Lansing explains in a press release, the innovative gaming software is set to mark a significant leap forward in the gaming experience, bringing enhanced gameplay for beginner-level users. The official launch is planned to coincide with the Switch 2 in September. Oh, a little bit of a leak there. AI Shark declaring that is very odd considering Nintendo has not confirmed the name of its next console or the release window for it. That means that AI Shark either revealed this release window and name information earlier than it was supposed to, or it is just speculating on the name and release window of Nintendo's next device in order to drum up hype for its AI product. Yeah. In a follow-up to Digital Trends, AI Shark backtracked on the September release month, but confirmed that the tentative launch for the platform is fall of 2024. It added that Nintendo has not officially set the launch date yet, but does not deny the existence of the device or the fact that it is set to launch this year. In a second follow-up, it backtracked on the fall 2024 window too, and noted that Nintendo has not officially clarified launch. Right, of course. Notably, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier received a completely different response from an AI Shark spokesperson, which claimed the company was simply guessing. Neither of the statements Digital Trends received alluded to that, including ones that were sent to us after Schreier's post. Digital Trends also reached out to Nintendo to confirm the accuracy of the press release. We'll provide an update when we hear back. Yeah. Yeah, grain of salt here, dude. Grain of salt. I mean, there's quite potentially something substantial to take out of this, but also maybe not. Look, Nintendo is notably very good at keeping information pretty tight. They don't leak stuff very much, and they don't like for people to find out stuff until they're quite ready to release it themselves officially. So to see this is, especially for me, even though this is what I was expecting timeline wise for a release for their new hardware, I'm absolutely not going to put a whole lot of stock into this either, because it's not officially Nintendo releasing this information. And while it's something to kind of go off of a little bit. I don't think people should be putting a whole lot of stock into this. We will find out from Nintendo what the name of the hardware is going to be, more details about it, and the release date when they're ready to share that information. But I do think that it's going to be fairly close to this timeline. You know, I think late summer into the autumn fall period of 2024 is when we'll get that hardware. So we'll wait and see. We'll get it when we're supposed to get it. And here's some additional information by a different... I thought this was going to be... is this the... Yeah, it's still... Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing. Alltech with AI Shark. This is the same exact thing. Yeah. Yep. So, no need to continue that. Alright, let's take a look at this, dude. This looks interesting. If you have not played Disco Elysium... do yourselves a favor, because that game's amazing. Amazers. So, the title of this is, I was already intrigued by this Disco Elysium-inspired D&D-based RPG, where you play as the world's worst cleric, but its demo blew my expectations out of the water. Esoteric Ebb has the juice. We all want the juice, baby. We've seen a little bit of this already, but let's dive in here a little bit more. Esoteric Ebb seems like a game tailor-made for me, and that left me nervous. An irreverent, dialogue-focused RPG proudly announcing its Disco Elysium inspirations. My mind jumped to all those Souls-like games I've gotten my hopes up for that just don't quite have the FromSoft magic right. After trying the game's second draft demo, I'm happy to report that my fears were unfounded. Esoteric Ebb has that spark, not merely an imitation of our 2019 Game of the Year, but using that familiar format to go on its own RPG adventure. You play as the world's worst cleric, already maybe the dumpiest of Dungeons & Dragons classes. Sorry, cleric fans. But the ecclesiastical fantasy just doesn't do it for me, though their healing magic is always welcome. As Obsidian design director Josh Sawyer once quipped, echoing the great Ronnie Coleman, everybody wants a cleric in the party, but ain't nobody want to main one. All of which is to say I kind of appreciate being forced into that role by the game, building out and reconstructing this archetype in a new way. Even though your class is set, you still have freedom to choose the cleric stats and play them any which way, maybe leaning into that world's worst cleric bit by giving them boo-boo wisdom and cranked up strength to be a bully priest, or maxing dex and charisma for a more flashy, self-involved man of the cloth. Esoteric Ebb adapts 5th edition D&D to Disco Elysium style of exploratory, dialogue-focused RPG, and the retrofit works. Your attributes talk to you in the manner of Disco's skills. Oh, that's such a great thing to hear. Dude, that was such a great part of Disco Elysium. But you're rolling D20s now instead of Disco's bespoke system of 2D6 rolls. Even with the changes, Esoteric Ebb nails the slapstick, jittery feeling of your first run through Disco, with failed checks and ill-advised decisions leading to situations you just don't see in other RPGs. Taking a break from Baldur's Gate 3, where I'm playing a bard who's good at everything, it felt invigorating to be a useless dope who gave himself a tummy ache trying to tunnel through a massive pile of apples by eating them. One memorably embarrassing faux pas saw my guy reflexively bite his tongue so hard he drew blood, spewing the red stuff out as his unremovable helmet the next time he opened up his mouth to speak. Nice. Instead of waking up to a... Let's look at this real quick. Nice. Instead of waking up to a lynching investigation with a legendary hangover, Esoteric Ebb's hapless cleric finds himself in a morgue, resurrected after having been fished out of the river. A tea shop has exploded on the eve of this fantasy city's first election, and you're charged with assisting the local goblin tribe in an investigation as to the cause. Interested to see how the political angle will pan out in this vastly different setting, but Esoteric Ebb's already showing off a sense for the world building that impressed me. Has that sense of as you already know, constructed history I really loved in Disco, and this fantasy world seems like it might be a little bit grimmer and weirder than it first appears. Esoteric Ebb combines that sensibility with a cheeky, Shrek-like banality in its treatment of magic and the fantasy. One of my favorite characters in the demo is a little imp who's taken his innate tendency towards evil of the lawful variety in stride by offering legal advice, including a delightful aside on the case history of resurrection magic. What does the law say about reviving someone executed for murder? If you kill someone and they're resurrected, is it murder or assault? This small section of the city in the demo already feels grungy and tactile, and the cel-shaded art style has really won me over as well. Its bright pastel colors and uncluttered textures remind me of 2021 Sable. Esoteric Ebb is very much a Disco Elysium-like, but it feels like it's got something cooking. Excited to see more of it. Esoteric Ebb currently has no set release date. You can check out the demo for yourself and wishlist it on Steam. Interesting. Let's go take a look real quick. I think we've already seen a little bit of this. They do have the demo available. Let's watch this trailer real quick. I'll cut the music for a moment. Coming soon. I'll go ahead and link it to you. It doesn't even have a 2024 date on it, so I'm not going to put it on our schedule right now. But
let me guess. You're the cleric.
this definitely has me intrigued. Disco Elysium's so good. And if this is anything even close to what Disco brings to the table, this is going to be fantastic. Buckethead. It is awesome that they make you be a cleric. That's awesome. Sudden Snell, Christopher Bodegard. Sudden Snell. Nice, dude. God. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, that seems good, man. There it is in chat if you need it. Okay. So Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown review, A New Gaming Kingdom awaits. There's the potential for us to play this. I'm hesitant because it's Ubi, and I'm not a big fan of what Ubi has become over the past at least half decade, if not a little more than that. I'm really, pretty sketched out about a lot of what they do, and but to be fair, Prince of Persia looks pretty good, and I'm a fan of this genre of game too, so I'm at least open to the idea of playing this. But being open to the idea does not mean playing on release necessarily either. I've been kind of waiting around to see what reviews we're going to say of this game, and we've already got some early stuff happening here, so let's take a look. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown review, A New Gaming Kingdom awaits. Thoroughly reimagined new iteration of 34-year-old series opens up a labyrinthine world littered with enemies and traps to overcome. Fixed in the sky above the entrance to Mount Quaff is a titanic statue frozen in the moment of its destruction. The pieces of granite head, shattered into chunks, hang suspended in mid-fall. The castle's tangle of trap-laden corridors, you will find characters who haven't aged a day in 100 years, while others who arrived hours before you have already died of old age. Time doesn't obey normal rules within the cursed halls of the fortress, and you would do well to learn that lesson fast if you want to complete Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. In The Lost Crown, Ubi returns to the earlier games' side-on perspective while folding in the power of overtime of the later titles to create a sprawling labyrinthine world littered with enemies and traps to overcome. Right. Now, if you haven't seen the trailer, we'll pull the trailer up in a moment, but it does look very nice. It does. It looks like a very well-developed 2.5D platforming Metroidvania-esque hack and slash type of game. You play Sargon, one of Persia's legendary warrior defenders, in his pursuit of Prince Ghassan and those who took him. You chase the group to Mount Qaf, where the kidnappers hope to force the prince to abdicate. You must reach him before they do. Sargon can jump over pits, swing from pole to pole, and leap between the walls of tight shafts to ascend the levels of Qaf. But even this athleticism only allows you to access a small portion of the fortress. You will often face gaps too large to jump, ledges too high to grasp, or doors with locks too distant to strike with your swords. However, as you discover the mountain's secrets and defeat its many bosses, you learn how to dash through the air, double jump, and anchor yourself to a point in space to which you can teleport back. Metroidvania. By combining these powers, you can pull off complicated mid-air acrobatics and open up whole new districts of Qaf to explore. Yes. The Lost Crown is Prince of Persia's reforged as Metroidvania, exactly. And the series feels at home in that genre of ever-widening worlds. You will return and return and return to the same areas of the map, discovering new secrets and old rooms, thanks to the powers you have acquired. Chests that were out of reach before fall within your grasp, locked doors now swing open before you, and bosses that were too fast or too strong are now vulnerable to your strikes. That all said, the Lost Crown's difficulty curve is severe, with later platforming sections and bosses demanding you memorize punishing attack patterns and develop reflexes to pull off complicated combinations of jumps, dodges, and parries. I love to hear that, dude. Butting into one of the skill walls is a frustrating experience, particularly in a game where the joy comes from stringing together uninterrupted acrobatics and attack combos. Let's go. Take a look.
I'm here to save a prince.
Are you now? Remember, Sargon. You are a weapon raised to serve Persia.
Prince Hassan has been kidnapped.
Take the lead, Sargon.
You are to leave for Mount Qaf at once. Bring him back. Bring back my son.
Time no longer flows like a river.
Ooh, excuse me.
Strange. It's a maze here, but I feel I've walked this path before.
Farah, you all right?
I saw our kingdom engulfed in flames. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
How am I still alive?
You seem stronger, but not strong enough to save a friend yet.
The Immortals have failed. Varum is driving a wedge between us.
Sargon, the betrayer!
We took you in and shaped you into an immortal. You turned against us.
I never wanted this fight.
Are you courageous enough and clever enough to save your friend?
I'll do whatever it takes.
Pre-order bonus. You can get a different outfit that you'll forget you even actually have. Sorry, dude. In moments where you encounter a frustrating blocker, however, you can often explore other parts of Qaf. When you find a new power, it usually opens opportunities all over the mountain, not just in one area. You can also upgrade Sargon's weapons to be more powerful, buy upgrades to his health potions, or change his configuration of amulets. These unlockable items will let you augment your hero's abilities, increasing his strength when he has low health, for instance, or reducing how much damage he takes from poison attacks. If you find a boss you can't defeat, it's reassuring to know you can make the fight easier by swapping out some of the amulets you take into battle. The Lost Crown isn't a sequel or a prequel to any of the other games. It's a new journey for the series. Its first step is a confident leap. It's not only that the most notable elements of the series is different iterations. Its settings, traps, time powers, and combat all find a natural home in this new shape, It's that it plays like one of the best games in its newly chosen genre, as good as a game as Metroid Dread or Hollow Knight, not an imitation of them. It's been 13 years since the last wholly new Prince of Persia game. If this is its new direction, it's exciting to see where it will land. Nice, dude. I love to hear it. I love Metroidvanias. And look, I think this is a good pivot from you know, it's good to see Ubi maybe doing something well, you know, and doing something a little new. They're bringing Prince of Persia back. This is a title that left a long time ago, bringing it back, but changing it into something different than what it had been previously, and at least to a large extent. And to see Ubi do this game without hearing very much about delays or problems with the development, or like we hear with most Ubisoft games, is refreshing. Yeah. And right now it's looking like it's been a pretty enjoyable experience for most people. Critic reviews right now, there's 65 of them already at an 86. You know, that's pretty solid. Sounds more like somebody that doesn't like Metroidvanias. So far, it's garnering really good critic reviews, and this releases in like roughly 6 days. So there's the chance that this might be like one of the next games we play. Love Metroidvanias. I'm interested in this. It is on our schedule as a potential playthrough for us if it is at least garnering decent reviews, and right now it's looking that way. We still need to I would still like to see what users are saying about it, but so far so good. Konami's re-releasing classic platformers, including rare Felix the Cat games. Konami, which is digging into its back catalog in a major way this year, is reissuing a handful of classic platformers from the 8-bit and 16-bit eras with the help of limited run games. 2 collections, one focused on Felix the Cat and another on Rocket Knight, will arrive this year on PS4, PS5, and Switch. Felix the Cat collection will include the eponymous NES and Game Boy games released by Hudson Soft in 92 and 93 respectively. Felix the Cat for NES was released late in that console's lifespan and now commands a relatively high price for around $300 for a complete copy, according to price tracking website Price Charting. The Game Boy version has gone for twice that amount. Felix's side-scrolling platformers will be released digitally by Konami and in physical form by Limited Run Games. The 2 8-bit era games will run on Limited Run's Carbon engine and feature save states and other quality-of-life fixes, Konami said in a news release. Konami and Limited Run will also release the Rocket Knight Adventures Re-Sparked collection together, which will include Rocket Knight Adventures Sega Genesis, Sparkster Rocket Knight Adventures 2 Sega Genesis, and Sparkster Super Nintendo. The Re-Sparked collection promises a new animation intro, rewind features, a boss rush mode, and a museum featuring never-before-seen content, Konami said. Similar to the Felix the Cat collection, the Rocket Knight collection will be released for, like I said before, PS4, PS5, and Switch. More Carbon engine re-releases are planned, Konami said. Another collection will be announced late February. Pre-orders for Limited Run Games' physical editions of Felix the Cat will begin on February 9th and run through March 10th. Pre-orders for Rocket Knight Adventures Re-Sparked open on January 19th and end on March 3rd. Everything else you need to know will be down below, and I will link this article for anybody interested, all right? There you go. Interesting. Jeez. Generative video game AI took center stage at CES, and it was a total mess. Interesting. We're not even 2 weeks into 2024, and we're already got our first big gaming industry trend of the year, the rise of generative AI. NVIDIA's leading the charge here, by the way, really. This week has seen a tidal wave of news as AI was the big buzzword coming out of this year's CES showcase. NVIDIA announced that it had landed some major partners for its ACE microservice, which is capable of creating fully voiced AI characters in games. The Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, Actors Union then cut an eyebrow-raising deal with Replica Studios that would allow the service to generate voices based on consenting actors. Other moments were more bizarre, like when an AI-generated Mario appeared on a screen on the show floor and told attendees how to buy video games from Target. Oh, really? That's interesting. Rather than being met with kind of bright-eyed wonder you get from a tech show like CES, announcements like this are sparking confusion and outrage. Few of these announcements went off without some sort of PR crisis that required clarifying statements from the companies involved. If generative AI really is the future of video games, CES made it clear that companies need to get all their ducks in a row before rolling it out. AI got off on the wrong foot at CES due to a critical misstep from NVIDIA. The company used the show to unveil an expansion of its ACE microservice, a powerful suite of tools capable of generating AI non-playable characters. An impressive tech demo showed a player talking to a computer-created character in a bar and getting organic responses to their spoken prompts. Yeah, it's like this whole dynamic experience, right? It's the kind of demo that should have gotten people talking, and it did, for all the wrong reasons. When Digital Trends saw the demo ahead of the show, we asked NVIDIA for an explanation of what dataset its tools are trained on. Rather than going into detail, NVIDIA noted there was no simple answer. What? Due to how many datasets different parts of the pipeline were built on. That ambiguous answer would start a firestorm when it hit social media, with concerned players speculating that the tool was trained on copywritten material that NVIDIA doesn't own. Interesting. After nearly 2 days of backlash, NVIDIA would reach out to Digital Trends with the simple answer it originally declined to give. It now maintains that ACE is trained entirely on data that it has the rights to, making it commercially safe. We reached out to Convey, I think, a company behind part of ACE's tech pipeline, about its own data usage, but it did not respond in time for this story. That explanation might alleviate some concerns about stolen training data, but it's not the only issue players have an issue with. While some have criticized the data ambiguity, others have voiced more general concerns about how the tech could be put real designers and actors out of work. The logistical answer was simple in the end. The ethical one isn't. Right. Random mode time. Let's go. Get your random modes in there. That would become a running theme of the show. Perhaps the biggest controversy came when SAG-AFTRA announced an agreement with Replica Studios, which we talked about a little bit earlier today and yesterday in our news segments. An AI platform that creates digital voices. The Actors Guild put out a statement saying that it had penned a deal that would allow Replica to train on data from consenting members of the guild. SAG President Fran Drescher called the tool a great example of AI being done right, while the guild noted that the agreement had been approved by affected members of the guild. That last part is up for debate. Several members of the guild expressed confusion about the deal on social media. Excuse me, with all due respect, you state in the article approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community, tweeted voice acting icon Steve Bloom. Nobody in our community approved this that I know of. Games are the bulk of my livelihood and have been for years. Who are you referring to? Yeah. As we read previously, Digital Trends reached out to Replica Studios to get clarification on what training data it uses and whether or not it was using copywritten material prior to its deal with SAG-AFTRA. We did not receive a response at the time of publishing, and we'll update this article when we hear back. Regardless of whether or not the deal is ethical, Bloom's sentiment was echoed across social media following the news, making it clear what the guild's members weren't on the same page as SAG implied. Exactly. It was another moment that lent to the overall Wild West feeling on display at CES this year. The downright bizarre. While those two stories dominated the news cycle coming out of CES, they weren't the only AI gaming announcements on tap. The rest of the crop was much weirder. When MSI demoed its MEG321 URX QD OLED monitor at the show, it came with a head-scratching feature. According to Tom's guide, the display uses an AI accelerator that analyzes the League of Legends minimap and marks where enemies are. While there may be some positive accessibility benefits that come with it, it's hard not to see MSI's monitor as a sanctioned way to cheat in a very competitive game. Yeah, no doubt. That seems like an esports disaster waiting to happen. Disaster was the running theme of the show when it came to AI. Sometimes those came in harmless blunders. The funniest moment of the show came when an AI hologram of Mario with an unsettling voice appeared on the show floor. Attendees grabbed videos of themselves talking to the digital plumber, who explained how to buy games at Target. Even weirder was that the tech was attached to a screen sponsored by AARP, Proto Hologram. The company behind the AI, and AARP would later clarify that Nintendo was not involved in the inadvertent proof of concept showing. Interesting. So Mario was at CES, but who approved this abomination? What is this, dude? Hold on. Let's see this.
I don't have feelings, but I am here and ready to help make your shopping experience fun and exciting.
What?
Let's make it a fantastic day at Target together.
Target? Mario's gonna talk at Target? Oh.
Try again. Start again.
What's the best thing for me to eat if I want to eat healthy?
If you want to eat healthy, consider incorporating a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats into your diet. Some nutritious options could be salad.
What is this?
Vegetables, grilled chicken or fish, whole grain pasta or quinoa, and fresh fruit for dessert. Remember to stay hydrated by. I don't have feelings, but I am here and ready to help make your shop.
Yo, that sounded nothing like Chris Pratt. Sorry. That somehow wasn't the weirdest AI moment either. That honor would go to AI Shark, a revitalized version of the classic Game Shark cheat tool rebuilt as AI software. The company would quietly announce its new initiative and a partnership with audio company Altec Lansing at the show with some eye-catching marketing. Press release would claim that the official launch is planned to coincide with the Switch 2 in September, which we just talked about. A Switch successor has not been confirmed by Nintendo, obviously. Yeah, the AI Shark backtracked on all those statements. Yeah. No matter which version of all that is true, it's a chaotic move that perfectly encapsulates AI's entire presence at CES. Video game industry was a disorganized mess at this year's show. AI news was doled out in rapid succession over the multi-day trade show, but in a hasty manner that left companies looking overeager to jump on a bandwagon they might not be prepared to ride yet. It was difficult to separate what was a legitimate product using licensed data from a scam impersonating reputable companies. You couldn't ask for a more fitting metaphor as to why people are so concerned about AI ethics than hologram Mario urging people to shop at Target. Yeah. At a certain point, it doesn't matter if a company like Replica Studios has consent to replicate human voices. The existential worry is that we're building a future devoid of humanity, where product trumps art, right? If you're going to fully automate an NPC rather than have an artist handcraft it with a narrative intent, then why put it in the game at all? Something like NVIDIA Ace reads less as a helpful tool for developers, more as a way of to fatten games up with meaningless content that doesn't serve a purpose behind hollow engagement. The fact that companies like AI Shark and Proto seem ready to mislead players to make that happen makes it all the more troubling. If CES offered a glimpse at where generative AI is taking us next, you can drop me off at the next exit. Yeah. It's pretty brutal, dude. It's pretty brutal. Yeah, no doubt. This is a great article, actually. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect out of this, but they touched on a lot of what we had already seen, and I hadn't seen the Mario thing yet. That was pretty gross, dude. That was pretty bad. Just kind of like a little cherry on top there for all this AI stuff coming out of CES, apparently, but pretty bad look all the way around, man. No doubt. Everything we know so far about Avowed. Okay, man. Let's crank it up, baby. There we go. So, everything we know so far about Avowed. Everything that I have found out so far about Avowed has been kind of a turnoff. I'll be honest. As a fan, a huge fan of the Pillars of Eternity games, I mean, as somebody who put, I'll show you, over 300 hours into both the Pillars games. Pillars. You can see Pillars of Eternity 1, 308 hours right here. Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, 330 hours. I played these games extensively These are single playthroughs. I put over 300 hours into both these games in a single playthrough. I have not played these games more than once. I loved these games. These games are great, right? But I have to say that I am a bit concerned about what to expect out of Avowed after we've gotten more information towards the middle of last year. Middle to, 3/4 into last year, which was the fact that apparently you're going to be fairly limited in this game to character class, progression, race selection, all the way around in your character creation is going to be pretty limited, where, the world of Aora is pretty vast. In the Pillars games, there's a lot of different choices when it comes to that kind of stuff. I understand that they've got some kind of specific story in place here, which is why they're saying they need to limit people, but that feels like more of a way to handicap people because Obsidian might have wanted to be lazy with not giving people as many options. It's like, well, let's just generate a story where we don't have to do as much. That's the way this feels to me. For Avowed, a game that has been hyped up for so long because there are so many people that are fans of the Pillars of Eternity world. And look, don't get me wrong, Obsidian does great stuff. Obsidian has made great games for a long. We're playing an Obsidian developed game today in Fallout New Vegas, which is from way back in the day. But I mean, if you want to talk about Obsidian games for the longest time, have been very, very good games, and it quite possibly is going to be another notch in their belt of fantastic titles. But what I've seen come out of the information of what's being developed here, for what I was expecting out of a game coming out of the world of Pillars and Aora, I'm concerned, and I'm not real impressed from what I've heard so far. But let's dive in here. Everything we know so far about Avowed. Avowed is the latest title from Obsidian, the studio behind The Outer Worlds, Grounded, Fallout New Vegas, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, set in the same universe as Pillars of Eternity. Avowed will take what has made previous Obsidian RPGs great and take that to the fantasy universe of Aora. Avowed looks like it could be one of the highlights of 2024, and here's everything we know so far. The release date. First, so here's the thing. We've got a Direct showcase, Xbox Developer Direct, happening on the 18th, so next Thursday. We're going to watch it live. It'll be towards the end of the stream, I think 2 o'clock p.m. CST, that's 3 o'clock p.m. EST, or noon Pacific time. That is what time it's popping off on the 18th, and that's we're going to watch it live here in the channel. There is definitely going to be Avowed content in that showcase. It's already been announced. Along with some other stuff, obviously, but Avowed is going to be one of their big things they talk about. Avowed was first announced by Obsidian and Microsoft in 2020, with the release window finally being announced in June of last year. It has been confirmed that Avowed will be released this year, but no concrete release date has been announced yet. We might get something more definitive come next week. What platforms will it be released on? Microsoft's acquisition of Obsidian in 2018 has meant that future titles such as Grounded have been made Xbox exclusives, and the same will be true with Avowed. It has been confirmed the game will be released on Xbox and PC via Steam and the Xbox app. Will it be on Game Pass? It will be launching on Game Pass, which isn't a surprise. All of Microsoft's first and second party games will be released on Game Pass at launch. Right. The trailer. We've seen it. We can watch it again if you guys would like. Here's the gameplay trailer. Take a look.
People don't like you very much, do they? sent here to the living lands by an emperor who couldn't bother to come himself. To investigate some plague that seems to be corrupting our very souls. You want us to trust you. But the truth is, you scare us. The way you fight. The power you wield. The secrets you keep. You're either here to save us or destroy us. So now that you have all this power, what are you gonna do with it?
Play it day one with Game Pass.
Okay. So that's the trailer. Plot and setting. So, Avowed takes place in the world of Aora, like I said, the same setting as the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate, Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. The player is a powerful mage who has been sent to the living lands to discover the origins of a plague that is corrupting the people of Aora. Players will be able to forge their destiny as they interact with the many characters in the living lands, many of whom are very hesitant when it comes to your presence, meaning you will have to prove that you deserve their trust. Of course, you can also prove their suspicions correct and be a more evil character, as you have the freedom to do what you want in the game. Gameplay. Despite taking place in the same universe as Pillars of Eternity, Avowed's gameplay is completely different, shifting away from an isometric RPG style and instead focusing on a first and third person RPG, which could be more likened to games such as Skyrim. One of the best features of most Obsidian games is that players can largely play how they want, choosing to be good or bad and adapting a playstyle to suit them. Avowed will give you the freedom to mix and match weapons, including swords and guns, as well as spells, allowing for a very personalized playing experience. Players will also interact with various companions who will be present throughout the game that you can build relationships with, and interactions will help shape the story as you progress through the game. From what we've seen so far, it looks like Avowed will be similar to The Outer Worlds in how it plays from a mechanic standpoint, with a fantasy setting as it takes place in the Pillars of Eternity universe. And that's about all we have. We'll probably get more next week on Thursday. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't really give me much more than I already knew, and it doesn't give me anything more, actually. So I don't know, man. It's kind of I'm very torn about this game. It's with how deep and vast and amazing the Pillars games were. I wanted that same kind of experience with this game, but just in like a first person perspective kind of, RPG, right? And I don't know that I'm necessarily going to be getting that. It doesn't mean the game will be bad. It's just not going to be what I was expecting out of a game set in the same universe as Pillars, right? And for I think myself and maybe some other people, if you don't get something close to that, it's going to be a bit disappointing. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly what they're bringing to the table. We're going to get more information about this game next week on Thursday, no doubt about it. So, Obsidian makes great content. They make great games. I think they're one of the better AAA developers out there today, and have established themselves as that for quite some time now. So I think the game will be good no matter what. I just don't know if it's going to click for me and for maybe some other Pillars fans as to what we were expecting out of a game set in the same universe as Pillars, Atlas is developing games for Netflix platform, it's claimed. It has been claimed that Atlas Shin Megami Tensei Persona is developing games for Netflix's gaming platform, which has gone from strength to strength in the last few months. This news comes years after Sega revealed it was considering a global expansion of Atlas that would see the 40-year-old firm's games released on other platforms. It's not yet known which Atlas games could make their way to Netflix, but there are expectations that some kind of mobile port for the Persona series or some of the older Shin Megami Tensei games would migrate over. In a thread posted on NeoGAF, fans discussed the implications of this news, with some taking it in a more negative light and dropping claims of Atlas selling out. Elsewhere, some fans were supportive of the report, suggesting that it might help bring P5X to the West and maybe gacha free. That latter point is a subject of contention, as recently it was revealed that Netflix is looking at ways to monetize its games now that the platform has become so popular. In recent months, the addition of games like Grand Theft Auto has bolstered Netflix's gaming service immeasurably. It's a service that's going gangbusters, even amid news that Netflix might introduce ads or paid in-game premium content for profit to profit from the growth. Yeah, I think that's the worst thing for me is, Netflix had promoted themselves for the first 2 years here as a platform you would not have to deal with ads or monetization because you're already paying a subscription service. So why should you have to deal with monetization or ads in their games? They promoted themselves very heavy on that front. And now all of a sudden they're backtracking off of that, which feels disgusting. And we'll see what comes with their Atlas games potentially coming to their platform, but feels bad, dude. Smite 2 could be revealed this weekend. What? Smite 2, you say? It has been revealed that data miners have allegedly uncovered clear evidence pointing to the impending announcement of Smite 2, a follow-up to the 2014 third-person MOBA. Since being released almost a decade ago, Smite has maintained a consistent audience, even if it hasn't ever come close to the magnitude of League of Legends or Dota 2 in the MOBA stakes. Two topics recently surfaced in the decade-long wait for news of a follow-up title that understandably has fans looking tentatively towards an imminent announcement. Is it coming soon? On the Russian Steam storefront, a post reportedly surfaced discussing Smite 2, but it didn't hang around for long. It was an advertisement urging users to add Smite 2 to their wish list, and it was snapped by eagle-eyed gamers and shared on Reddit before it could be removed. Elsewhere, dedicated data miners dug up references in Smite to a Smite 2 Founders Pack. It was claimed on SmiteDataMining.com that this pack would be made available during Smite's 2024 birthday event, which falls on March 25th. It's a celebration of the game's 10-year milestone. Fans are expecting some kind of grand reveal this weekend during the 10th edition of the game's World Championship Tournament in Atlanta, Georgia. Tomorrow is going to be a day filled with celebration, esports, and incredible announcements. Actually, thinking about it now, we really should have scheduled the Smite 2024 keynote for Tuesday. Oh well, see you all tomorrow. As a free-to-play accessible MOBA with some unique, innovative features, Smite has effortlessly entertained hundreds of thousands of gamers for almost 10 years. Not yet known what Smite 2 will look like, such as whether it'll overwrite the first game, but time will tell likely. Interesting. Smite 2 stuff, actually. Huh. Last but not least for the day, we're going to take a quick peek here at Sandland, the video game based on Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama's manga, has a release date. Life's a beach, baby. Sandland launches on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC April 26th. Publisher Bandai Namco has announced. Announced last year. Yep. Sandland looks to translate a cult Japanese comic into an open-world adventure. Sandland debuted in 2000 as a short-lived tale of a demon prince exploring a desolate wilderness. Created by Akira Toriyama, a manga artist of major renown for his Dragon Ball series, as well as his contributions to many games such as Dragon Quest, Sandland remained a print-only phenomenon until 2023. A feature-length film debuted last summer, with this game serving as the next multimedia tie-in. Yeah, this game looks pretty cool.
What the heck is this?
The site of the great Aquanium explosion. And the one who pulled the trigger on that bomb was the commander of the Royal Army Tank Corps. Me. We can't let it cause yet another tragedy.
you guys looking for the legendary spring?
If Aquanium is involved, this is a national emergency.
It's getting dangerous and fun.
A spectacle indeed.
Magnificent. The sheer scale of it makes you feel like less than nothing in comparison.
Tentacles.
That light! That's Aquanium!
Stand back, everyone. I'll take him out myself.
That Zeo, is there no end to the secrets he was keeping from his own army?
One of the nasty relics of that foolish war.
I seriously don't understand human.
April 26th. What a date. For some Sandland. Pre-order bonus, you can get unique skins. It's your favorite camo pack. Joining Beelzebub, the Fiend Prince, his chaperone thief, and Sheriff Rao, prepare to explore the vast desert, take on the royal army and various customizable vehicles, reads the official synopsis. This unlikely team uniting humans and demons sets out on an adventure in search for the legendary spring capable of ending the terrible drought that has taken over the world. Together they will travel beyond Sandland to uncharted territories. We'll see. We'll see how it does on release. Yeah. Yep. But official release date, few months left. We'll see. That's the news, my dudes and dudesettes. Yeah, yeah. Let's get that music popping. Nice. You guys rock. Great news segment. Appreciate you. We're going to go play some Fallout New Vegas for the rest of the day. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope that your Friday is going well, has gone well. Glad that we're working our way into the weekend. You know, that's what we're always grinding for. And we're going to go play some games and have some fun to kick off the weekend here. So I don't know if anybody's been able to hang out this morning. You're not familiar with what we do. This is our jam, man. We always start off with video gaming news 6 days a week. We are live every day but Wednesday. We begin at roughly 6 a.m. CST CDT, beginning with video gaming news like we are just kind of finishing right now. We try to stay current with what's going on in the video gaming industry, and then we move on and play games for the rest of the day. So we have all of our previous content, most of it anyways, of video gaming news segments, pertinent articles and clips out of those news segments. Gameplay playthroughs we've done, funny clips and highlights of just things that have happened here in the community. All that stuff is on the Twitch channel as well as the YouTube channel. And so if you want to go check out some of the previous things we've done, all that content's out there. And we're always looking for more cool peoples to come be a part of what we do here, man. We got an amazing community of people that are always part of what we do when we are live. And we're always looking for more people that are just good, solid individuals looking to spread good vibes, be uplifting, mature, civil individuals, trying to be void of toxicity and negativity, and just you know, be a nice, caring, cool, chill community that enjoys video games, man. So if you can dig that, come be a part of what we do when we're live. Other than that, man, happy Friday. Stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we're going to move on and play some video games. I'm going to run us an outro to kind of sum up this news segment real quick, but I'm not going anywhere. Stream's not going down. As soon as this outro video is over, we will get ready to play some video games. So don't you go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Step it up. Step it up.
Step it up, step it up.